Meet the Dullards. Extra boring edition. One day, Mr. and Mrs. Dullard received quite a nasty surprise. The Dullards collected the books and handed their children some nice blank paper to read instead. Then they left the room to discuss the problem in private. This was not the first time their children had given them a shock. Last week, they had asked to go to school, and just the day before, Mr. Dullard had caught them trying to play outside. Ms. Dullard shook her head sadly. Where did we go wrong? Not now, Mr. Dullard comforted his wife. No, now, Mr. Dullard comforted his wife. It can't be our fault. We're perfectly dull. Perhaps it's this place, he said. Last fall, remember, some leaves turned color, and now this? He pointed to an upsetting commotion in the driveway. The snail. Upsetting commotion. There's never a dull moment. You may be right. It's like a circus around here, Ms. Dullard agreed. This is no place to raise Blanda, Borley, and Little Dud. So the Dullards packed up their 3 dull children and all their dull things and moved. Just as they brought the last box into their new home, a lady came to the door. Welcome to the neighborhood, she said. I baked you an applesauce cake. Please don't use exclamation marks in front of our children, said Ms. Dullard. Smooth or chunky applesauce? Asked Mr. Dullard. Chunks are so unpredictable, so nerve-wracking. I'm sorry, the neighbor lady said. It was chunky. Goodbye, said the Dullards, shutting the door. Well, I never, they heard the neighbor lady muttering as she carried her cake away. Well, we never either, said Mr. Dullard. That's how we keep our family so dull. You children need to calm down after all that excitement, said Mrs. Dullard. Go watch television. Mr. and Mrs. Dullard finished unpacking all their dull things. Ah, this place feels more boring already, said Mr. Dullard. But then... Oh no! On the way to the paint store, the Dullards spotted... Did I miss something? All right. Evidently, the wallpaper was a little too exciting for them. So on the way to the paint store, the Dullards spotted an ice cream stand. Mr. Dullard ordered their usual, 5 vanilla cones, please. Hold the cones and extract the vanilla. But all that would be left is plain ice cream, the clerk said. Yes, that's correct, said Mr. Dullard. At the paint store, Mr. Dullard suggested a medium gray. Too risky, Ms. Dullard decided. Gray is the color of highways, and highways could make the children think about going somewhere. How about beige? Out of the question, said her husband. Beige reminds me of clay. The children might think of that, and, he put his hand to his heart, want to make something. In the end, they told the clerk to mix the gray paint and the beige paint together, and the new color was indeed perfectly dull, like oatmeal left in the pot. After they finished painting their room, Mr. and Ms. Dullard tried not to look at the walls, but it was no use. They were completely mesmerized. All day long, the Dullards watched the paint dry. The kids are breaking out. Now's our chance. I can't imagine what came over them, Mr. Dullard said as he herded the children safely back inside. Perhaps it's the new home. It's terribly exciting. You may be right. It's like a circus around here, Ms. Dullard agreed. But there's no place to raise Blanda, Borley, and little Dud. So the Dullards packed up their 3 dull children and all their dull things into their pragmatic moving container. And moved back. Circus coming to town. Coming to town tonight. That night, Mr. and Ms. Dullard fell asleep right away, secure in the knowledge that their children were perfect bores.